Alright all, it's done. Much like in 2023, I've made a video for every single entry that I could for the Sunday RL 2024. In total, there's basically 150 videos that are correspond to games basically in this playlist. And, well, for most part, at least 2/3 of all these videos are going to be review videos. As opposed to in 2023 when that was not the case. But anyhow, I figured basically sort of touch up on my thoughts basically regarding the Sunday RLs of this year and how they're basically different from 2023, as well as what's basically going to happen going forward and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get to it. So I'll note that basically I'm going to be scheduling lots of review videos basically for you guys to basically see, and you're basically going to see that for a little while. After I basically get through the review videos, I'm going to start basically swinging into the play videos. And there's quite a few of those basically to go through, but not really, because I basically reviewed so many of the entries this year that there's not that many to basically really get done. After I get these out of the way, I'll move into the failed entries that didn't really get to be successful this time around. And around July 16th, hopefully this will be done. All these videos, and I'll be it for the 7-year-olds of this year. If I do any more, it'll just because I basically requested to do them right after the Sunday RL, or maybe someone's got a Sunday RL from past years. There'll be a couple at least one of those basically popping up on my channel at some point. Basically there's a bunch of unlisted videos basically in my my stuff here. These all videos will be coming at some point, by the way, but Conquer of Time here is basically Sunday RL from way back when. Developer of the Sunday RL basically asked me to basically do a review for it because it basically appeared on Steam. So at some point you'll basically see this basically pop up on my channel and you'll be able to watch it. I'm on one being called, so let's get that out of the way. I'm going to guess that was the wrong number. Okay, back to where I basically was. Yeah, there's basically a bunch of unlisted videos, and these will probably be popping up after basically I'm done all the Sunday RLs. And at least one of them is basically a Sunday RL from way back when. So if I go to the Steam Conqueror of Time, this is basically a game that the developer, I guess Ken Luden, basically put up on Steam here. He asked me basically to quickly jump into it. I gave some thoughts basically on playing it. And it's always good to basically see a Sunday RL basically make it to Steam and become a real thing and stuff like that, but whatever. Alright, so that's basically about the Sunday RLs and stuff like that. Note that basically there's going to be a few failed basically entries basically popping up a little bit earlier than that. Let's see here. I have down here a failed video for Orc Tavern, and I'll have a failed video for Tales from a Wandering Frog, Sherwood. These videos basically here, by the way, they correspond to rogue-like spotlights I'm going to be doing for Sunday RLs for this year. And basically got Rock and Slay, or no, it's basically something else. I got basically Save the Gold and Tales from Wandering Frog roguelike. I got Sherwood and Orcish Tavern, and these basically four of the failed entries of this year that I thought deserved a little bit more spotlight to them. So I'll be throwing these basically up for mentioning in the near future, and I'll basically have mentionings for all the other Sunday RLs that basically were successful and deserve extra mentions and stuff like that. All right, so that's actually something to basically note, by the way, in regards to this Sunday RL. So I want to note that basically this time around for this Sunday RL, and this is not the right page, but let's just go to roguelike here. Let's go in here. So I want to note that this time around for the roguelike judging, even if you go down to say some of these lower raid ones, something's really nice basically to say about these lower entries this time around is that basically they all got 2 reviews. And just like something I want to basically like praise like Darren for like actually accomplishing for this year, as well as like all the viewers who basically helped to make it happen. Basically like in 2023 when I basically did like the judging basically and stuff like that. Is it possible to find it? Yes, it is right up here. If we go to like 2023, you'll note that basically for like this year here when I was basically like first involved, if you go down far enough to like these like lower entries, there's like only like one review for like some of these entries down here. And that's like something that's basically like something I really disagree with, and for obvious reasons basically. There's basically the grind basically that like I feel like got shafted because only one person reviewed it, and I felt like if like the second person reviewed it, would have had a much higher score than I basically like did here. Like right here is basically at the bottom, so to speak. So this game doesn't deserve to be at the bottom like this. So yeah. But basically for like 2024 here, all these basic reviews here, do we have like 2 reviews basically for them. And I'll not basically go like up to like anything that's basically got like a well, not this one, Ruin of Ruins, but a lot of like the ones that are basically up here in like the 2.0 ratings. You'll notice that basically have like 3 reviews. This one has 2 reviews. That one has 2 reviews, 2 reviews, 2 reviews, 3 reviews. Basically, like you see like the 3 reviews basically going down way farther than like they did last year. And it's actually something I like highly praise about like the reviews for this year. Now this is basically honestly hard to basically do because I don't think there's basically that many reviewers compared to like last year, or at least like a lot like less was basically done by like each individual reviewer, except for me up here and Mika and Ifman. But it is something actually like worth praising that like all these like games basically like they're getting like lots of reviews, a lot of these stuff, so it's worth mentioning for it. All right, so something else basically a note by the way, just in in regards to like the reviews and stuff like that. I never actually really like sort of mentioned it, but I'll note that basically this year there's basically 112 like reviews, and I basically did a total of 86 of those reviews. So 86 divided by 112 roughly means that like I did about 75% of like all the like successful games were basically like reviewed by like me. So just to throw it out there, yeah, last year in 2023 I did like over half like the the applicable games that basically like were completed. This year I did like 3/4. So I was basically like saying like in 2023 that like you should probably highly expect that I might be doing a review of your game. So pay attention to what I'm basically saying, and well, this definitely proved it. Like I don't think I'll probably do like this many like this like next year, because that would be insane, unless there's like very little. But yeah, here's the thing. It's like my like opinion as like a judge actually does matter, so keep that in mind. Speaking of which, I'm basically gonna like keep this basically more or less the same as I basically like did in like 2023. So refer to one of my videos basically on that for like how I basically judge roguelikes and like what I'm basically doing for like a competitive aesthetics. But something I actually want to sort of like jump into. So I wanted to basically like both this year and last year. I've been really like brutal on like the fun scoring, both for like 2023 and for 2024. I don't really give a whole lot of like threes for like fun, and I don't really even give like that many twos for that matter, and I give like lots of ones. And part of the reason I think this is basically the thing is because like the instructions basically for like judging fun is basically, is it enjoyable or compelling to play? And the question basically here to me is like is it enjoyable or compelling to play? The answer for a lot of these like somebody else is basically a no, because they're not really here to basically like for me at least, to sort of demonstrate something fun. They're here to demonstrate like an idea that could be made into something fun. And I enjoy basically looking at like these ideas and like what they might be able to do. But are they fun? No. And that might be a very like sort of brutal way of like looking at a lot of this stuff, but you actually have to like really like work out the mechanics of your gameplay in order to like have something compelling at least to play. And then on top of that, to make it enjoyable, as like a whole other matter on top of it. But one thing I'm basically going to start doing, like, going forward, I'm basically going to, like, note that I'm basically saying appeal here. Like, how does this game basically appeal to people? Do I think this might appeal to someone of, like, say, a specific background and stuff like that? So, who do you basically recommend this game basically to? I'm probably just going to put, like, a 1 in, like, for fun category. If, like, say it's, like, something that, like, maybe a developer might have a look at. And the thing here is like, I think like say like, say the grind, for example. The grind from like, 2023, that's basically the game that I basically said like, should have been like ranked higher. But I wasn't really saying like, should probably get like, more like, a 1 or 2 basically for fun. And the thing is like, it does have like, some ideas there that like, could be like, interesting to basically look at. I'll note that basically for like a lot of like horror games, they're like very much like, not procedural. So that's basically something that's like, quite like, inspiring basically like look at for a developer. Like, what are some ideas here to make us like, basically like make a horror game, so to speak. But, who would I basically say it was for? Is it like just for developers? Like, maybe they want to look at the mechanics here and like maybe have some ideas like how to like, flesh out those mechanics, make like a better game. Depending on the style, the theme and style of the entry, do I think maybe specific players of like this genre might actually be interested in like checking it out? And actually think about it, I'm actually put a 2 for grind if I was basically a good judgment my disc. I don't by like if I was basically judging myself, I would have skip this one for the grind, but I can actually see like there are possibly like some like horror fans who might be interested in this sort of thing. So possibly I gave it 2 for like under like this system here. And then I have like 3 down here basically say I believe this is broad enough appeal that it's basically worth everyone's time to check. So here's basically like how I'm basically sort of like judging like fun going forward. I think if I think like there's something here that like might be a mechanic that developer might be able to pick up on and expand on, then yeah, I'll probably just rate it like a 1. If it's basically like, not for like a player to basically enjoy or anything like that, then just leave it at 1. If I think there's basically like specific players, like say like you make an action roguelike, that's not gonna appeal to like a lot of people. But if you make it like a really like got something in there that's basically appealing to someone, then I might give it 2. And if I think like say like you have something like total of seating, then this is sort of throw out there. Total of Seating was basically one of the games from last year, and it's basically an action roguelike here. But even though it's basically an action roguelike, I thought it's basically got like some really like, interesting ideas that like even if you basically aren't really into action roguelikes, this might be a compelling game to actually like check out and play. All right, so that's basically what my ideas like I'm probably gonna try and do with like fun here. Like how does it basically appeal to like other pit layers, like of like a specific like style type and stuff like that. I mean, for myself, I'm not really going to be like the one who's basically going to appeal to for a lot of these games. So, do I think it's basically appeal for like someone else? Maybe, and maybe there's a higher rank basically resolve it. But that's just some thoughts basically I had like in regards to like going from here, so to speak. All right, so I guess one last thing to basically sort of say here. I'll note that basically like as I sort of like opinion basically out here, there wasn't that many like people who basically like did a whole lot of like roguelikes basically like equality wise for like each like individual reviewer. So I'll basically know if you're basically watching this like before like 2025 or any other year basically for like judging stuff like that. I do encourage basically people to start reviewing and like doing reviews for these games. So if you aren't reviewing, then like really should even come in to like basically do like a simple 5 like worksheet basically of like games. You might find something that might be bothersome and like not really worth your time to playing, but we do need reviewers, I think. All right, so that's basically it for like this final like video for like the Center Rails. At some point in the future, I'll basically have like a direction for my channel, basically like after the enlisted stuff is going on. But for now, take care.